back to Showverse. My name is Haley Morales, and today we're going to be talking about Miracle Workers Season 2. But before we get started, please remember all month of June we are doing a fundraiser for the Innocence Project. Links are down below. They are an amazing, amazing organization that does awesome work all around the country, helping getting innocent people out of prison using a lot of DNA science, which, you know, a lot of people when they initially were put in, that wasn't an option. So they're giving some people actual chances to prove their innocence. It's a great organization. I love it so much. Please go in the bottom and donate. I'm so excited. We have lots of things planned all month long, including our final charity week. So please go check out our socials for the exact times and everything and announcements for all of that stuff. If you want to be clued in, we will also have our newsletter, which you can find on our website. There's the sign up on the very bottom of pretty much every page. And we will also be putting the donate total in there at the end, next month. So please go do all those things. But for now, hi, let's get started on Miracle Workers Season 2. Now, if you're like me, and you saw all the advertising for this initially, I only ever saw advertising for Season 1, and it was the Steve Buscemi as God. You might be confused when Season 2 starts, because they're in a medieval times, and they're doing stuff, and I kept waiting for, like, the other shoe to drop, like, where they reveal that it's maybe God sending all the angels to work on a thing. Like, I thought God was just, like, trying to mix up some time and do that. It's not. This is an anthology show, which I discovered afterwards when I Googled. So each season is a different story altogether. Like, literally the whole time. I watched both seasons the same day. Just binged right through them all. So I kept waiting for, like, maybe in the last episode, they're back in heaven, like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. I just kept waiting for the heaven stuff to come back. It's an anthology series, so you can start Season 1, Season 2. It don't matter. They are not connected in any way. They just have the same actors in it. And the two main characters are still played by the same two. Last season it was Craig and Eliza, played by Daniel Radcliffe. Played by Daniel Radcliffe and Geraldine. And so, yeah, there was a little bit of confusion for me, but that's okay. It didn't take anything away from, like, my enjoyment of the show. So Season 2 is they're in medieval times, and it's a really good, like, rendition of the evil times. They're talking about, like, there's one scene where they're talking, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're done with schooling and we get to, like, go out into the world. Anna Baker, I'm going to go become a baker. And Chad Blacksmith is going to be a blacksmith. What are you going to be, Alexandra Shit Shoveler? And she's like, I'm going to college to, like, learn more and stuff. And they're like, oh, neat. Cool. And so Alexandra Shit Shoveler is Geraldine. She's Eliza from the first season. She just wants to go to college, see what's out there. What's going on? She goes home to her dad, Eddie Shit Shoveler, who is Steve Buscemi, and her brother, Mikey Shit Shoveler, who played one of the humans in Season 1. He played Sam. And they're a little family unit. And we, like, first meet Mikey when he's being chased by a bunch of guys for being a goblin. When he just has a third nipple that he's had his whole life. And they're like, stop. Al's like, Alexandra, they mainly call her Al. She's like, leave him alone. You know he's not a goddamn god. Like, get out of here, or troll, or whatever they call him. And they're like, whatever. And her father, Steve Buscemi, Eddie, is a shit shoveler. He goes around town and he shovels everybody's piles of shit. And they use it for manure and stuff, I think. And like there's points where the baker girl from the scene I just said is like, I just took like a big dump behind that tree over there. And her dad's like, oh, I'll get right to it. And he's happy. He's a happy man. He just shovels shit. He does use a shovel that's this big. And this much of it is handle. Like basically just enough for your hand. And then you're in the shovel. There it is. It's just a little shovel, right? Which is interesting. So that's where most of the family is. And we also see Daniel Radcliffe. He is now Prince Chauncey, the local prince. And he's a little bit of he doesn't have a name yet. He doesn't have a moniker. He's a little bit behind. His dad is just absolutely ruthless, will kill anybody and anything if he just finds it funny. Or what, like, he's really ruthless. And Chauncey's like a little, softer. He's got a bunch of ducks that he takes care of. He's just hanging out, and his dad has an advisor called Lord Chris Wexler, who he played Sanjay Prince in the first season. And he's kind of serious, but he also keeps kind of falling into a little bit of a babysitter role for Prince Chauncey. That's their dynamic. They end up... and then in the first season, the angel Rosie, who was a person who was like technically God's assistant, but she kind of offloaded all her problems onto Sanjay. In this one, she's Maggie, and she's Al's best friend. So Al goes to college. It's one day long. They say like 3 things. They're like, God's mad at you and the world is flat, and congratulations, you've graduated. So she learns nothing. She just graduates. And she's like, that's it? They're like, yep. So she goes home and her dad has gotten her very own shit shovel with her name on it. And bonus points, it doubles as a grave marker. Hell yeah. And on the back it says like R.I.P. Al shit shoveler. His does as well. His also has his grave marking details, and it's got like his birthday and a line, I think. I don't even know if it had that, but it doubles as his grave marker. She's not happy about it. Like the next day she's working the job with her dad, and she runs into that same group of people, the baker, the blacksmith or whatever. And there was also another guy whose last name was Perv, and they wouldn't really say what his job, like what his thing was gonna be, and he was just like, oh, it's fine, all like staring all weird. They meet up with them. She's like, oh my god, how was college? She's like, I've graduated. And like, oh my god, I just got engaged. He's my brother, but it's fine. Like, it's weird. It's funny. Kept it a little bit more in the family, I guess. She's like, I'm trying really hard not to call him like brother anymore, but like, I'll get used to it. It's weird. But they just kind of continue through some lives where Prince Chauncey is trying to work on like gaining his father's like pride and approval while still not really being able to be like as hardcore as his dad wants him to be. Al's just trying to like do something with her life. She ends up working with her father most of the season, and she tries to convince him that maybe they could have like a longer stick on their shit shovel, so they don't have to bend all the way down into the shit. And at first he's like, oh, no, that's not how things are done. And he like breaks off her adjusted shit shovel. By the end of the episode, she's able to get him to consider longer ones. And for the rest of the season, he's using like a full-size shovel. I always like when they show consistency like that. Like if there's a change and then visually throughout the rest of the season, that change is still there. My favorite thing. It seems like such a small thing, but especially when TV shows used to be basically reset at the end. It wouldn't really happen, and even now sometimes it's just like, the continuity of it all. I don't know. It's always a thing I appreciate, especially in these kind of movies, these kind of shows. So Al and Chauncey keep kind of running into each other every now and again, and there's no like fanfare about the prince. It isn't like, oh my god, the prince is coming, or like he's just a dude who also lives in there, but he, hasn't worked a day in his life and doesn't really interact with them as much. But there's definitely no, like, in some stories, it's like, oh my god, the prince is coming into town. Oh, let's get ready. It's like, whatever. He walks out around by himself. There's no real fanfare along anybody. And him and Al keep interacting in various ways, between her helping him on some things, him, witnessing stuff. He slowly starts to fall for her, and they start like trying to do things to make her happy and stuff, and it's very cute. Maggie, Al's friend, joins the nunnery, and she like slowly starts really becoming into her job. They were always like, oh my god, everything here sucks, like it's nothing town, and she's like, actually I really kind of like my job. And they have a lot of really like modern references that I really love. Like at one point, real later in the season, Prince Chauncey's kind of tried to shoot his shot, but Al is starting to see another guy, and he's like moping, and there's a bard just sitting in the room with him, and he's like, "Bard, play my breakup mix," while looking at a long scroll of a bunch of square photos of them. It looks like a photo booth thing, and the bard just starts singing. And Lord Vexler comes into the room, and he goes, "Bard off!" And he just stops like he's a fucking Alexa, and it's beautiful. A bunch of shit like that. Like at one point, they bring in a traveling bard because it's like Chauncey's trying to impress Al, and it's Al's favorite artist and stuff. And he's like living the rock star life, and it's just, the dude is actually fucking Fred Armisen. So, like, just to let you, like, they pull some, like, real cool little guest cameos and stuff, and it's so good. Oh, also, Daniel Radcliffe's Prince Chauncey has, like, this wig that he wears. Like, initially, it just kind of looks like he grew out his hair, and it, like, was cut kind of funny, and then, like, in various episodes, it just kind of goes back and forth on whether or not he's wearing he has, like, real short hair or a wig. I don't know what exactly happened, but literally, like, in one episode, that same season, I was talking about that scene where he's, having him play the breakup mix. He's got his short hair, and in the next scene, he has to be at, like, a formal thing, and he's got his long hair, so he's got a wig on, and it's interesting choice. Really good stuff, the way they incorporate the modern and the medieval stuff. They have people come from a new invention was made, a hole in the ground that you can shit into, and shit shoveler Eddie is like, what the fuck, man? Why would you do that? Why would you shit in a hole when you could just shit in the middle of your floor and pay somebody to come pick it up every couple of days? Like, what are you fucking talking about? But everybody keeps canceling on him in favor of these holes that they just got installed. So he put snakes in the holes. And then everyone's, rushing to come back to him because they can't keep using these holes. There's snakes in them. Which was a really good, like, showing how innovation and technology getting better, makes some people rush to the past. And sometimes you do shitty things to keep your job the way it is. And I don't know. It was a really funny little episode side plot. Towards the end of the season, Al meets this guy who's like a astrology person, loves staring at the stars, and has a lot of the similar beliefs as her. And she kisses him, which is what makes Chauncey play his breakup mix. And they're like about to leave town when this kingdom that they've been at war with this entire time is going to start a siege. And they never fail their sieges. And they always leave one survivor to tell the tale But they're mostly out of town, so they could survive. But she comes back, and the king, Chauncey's dad, just fucking pieces out, takes Lord Vexler with him initially, but Lord Vexler actually ends up stopping the cart and getting out as well. While Prince Chauncey opens up the castle for as many people to get in as possible, while literally arrows are raining down on them. And Al comes back into town and helps figure out a way to get everybody free, and it works out in the end. It's a great time. It's really funny. It gives just enough heart to like really care about the characters. Like even the like B and sometimes like little C plots that are sometimes playing out are all really good. Amazing writers on here. It's kind of hard to explain how good a comedy series is, because like me explaining a joke is not anywhere near as funny as watching it on the screen. But trust me, freaking so good. Loved it. I'm so excited for season 3. It was kind of put off because they were supposed to start filming in 2020. But I believe there's supposed to be some kind of announcement about it sometime soon. So season 3 has been approved. It's just kind of like, when are they going to, like, how's filming working and stuff like that? Or when's, like, release dates and stuff going to happen? Because, you know, the whole industry got disrupted last year. But it's still planning on coming. I'm excited to see what story it is and what the framework for these characters are going to be. Since, you know, we got God, and now we have medieval times. What's season 3 gonna be? Season 3 is coming. It's just announced that it is the Oregon Trail story. That's what the whole thing is gonna be. Dan Radcliffe is gonna play some kind of preacher. He's in the trailer. He's shown like praying to God for a miracle to help somebody show up to help them get to Oregon, and then Steve Buscemi knocks down the door like, howdy, and he's got like blood coming out of his ear and he falls over. That's all we've seen so far. I'm excited. March 22nd of this year, that trailer came out, but it just says coming soon, so it'll be coming at some point. I will gladly cover this when it comes back out. But it's very funny. Very good series. I highly recommend you actually watch it. Like I said, you can start with season 1 or season 2 if the medieval, the Dark Ages kind of sounds more interesting to you. Go ahead, you know, they have nothing to do with each other. It's an anthology series, so you can watch them in either order. But they're really good, and that's Miracle Workers. So please don't forget to donate down below to the Innocence Project. Come hang out here. Or on the website or on our Discord for all of our stuff and things that we're working on. And thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Bye.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching.
You can check out our website for all the content we produce.
Clicking all those YouTube buttons makes it so you see more content from myself and the other amazing creators at Kai's Corner Productions. All donations help us produce more stuff like that for you.
See you guys in the next one. Peace.